Welcome to GovCon Clarity with Dr. Lori Smith, where strategies replace guesswork and readiness replace wishful thinking. With over 4 decades inside government systems, Dr. Lori breaks down what agencies actually evaluate: capacity, compliance, and credibility. If you're ready to compete at the federal level, not just apply, this is where clarity begins.
Hey guys, when Series 1 ended, I told you the diagnostic was done and the build plan was next. 6 episodes later, you have that build plan. You know what an operating system looks like. You know how to make governance breathe. You know how to design a pathway, track the metrics that actually matter, and step out of the center of your business on purpose. That's not, that's not small. That's foundational. And before we walk into Series 3, I want to stop, look back at what we constructed together, and say the words that matter most. Thank you. Welcome to GovCon Clarity with Dr. Lori Smith. I am Dr. Lori Smith, CEO and founder of Elegant LLC and founder of SoNRC's Empowerment. This is the space where we tell the truth about federal work, especially for women-owned, veteran-owned, and mission-driven small businesses. Now, today's episode is a wrap-up, a thank you, and a preview. No new framework, no new assessment, just a chance to breathe. Reflect on what Series 2 gave us and set the table for what's coming next. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's do this together. Now, before anything else, again, thank you. Thank you for staying with me through 12 episodes and 2 full series. Thank you for the LinkedIn messages telling me which framework you finally implemented. Thank you for the founders who told me, they printed out the decision authority map and put it on the wall. Thank you for the veterans and women founders who wrote in to say, I didn't know I was allowed to build it this way. You are allowed. You always were. And thank you to the founders who shared episodes with their teams, their subcontractors, and their peer group. This work travels because you carry it. I don't take that for granted. And thank you to the guests who joined me in Series 2. Your honesty about what governance, delegation, and founder dependency actually feel like from the inside made this series richer, and I couldn't have made it on my own. Then I could have made it on my own in actuality. So what's happening in Series 2, or what was Series 2 really about? Series 2 was called Systems Before Scale. And the through line across all 6 episodes was a single idea. If Series 1 helped you see the gap, Series 2 was about closing it with architecture, not adrenaline. So here's a walk back through what we built. In episode 7, From Hustle to Operating System, we named the shift Rhythms, Roles, and Rules. Not a platform, not a software stack, a way of working that's intentional, documented, and repeatable. So the business isn't running on you, it's running on how you built it. In episode 8, Making Governance a Living Practice, we took the framework from Series 1 and made it breathe. 3 moments where governance earns its keep: when an opportunity comes in, when a deliverable goes out, and when something goes wrong. Governance isn't a chef document, it's a decision-making infrastructure agencies can trust. In episode 9, we talked about designing a readiness pathway for your business. For the founder who could see every gap at once, we built a 12 to 8 month pathway, primary lanes, secondary lanes, a way to sequence the work so you're building readiness on purpose, not by accident. In episode 10, Metrics That Matter Beyond Just Revenue, we moved past the vanity number. 4 categories, 4 honest questions: operational health, governance health, capacity health, and pipeline health. The numbers that tell you whether your business is getting stronger or just getting busier. In episode 11, Reducing Founder Dependency on Purpose, the hardest episode I think of the series is where we name the uncomfortable truth. The biggest risk in your business might be you. And we walk through the document, delegate, disappear framework, not to make you unnecessary, but to make you free for higher value work. And then in episode 11, we did a case clinic, turning chaos into a readiness engine. It was the finale. We took a composite founder and walked her through 90 days at a time from 22 to 38 on the readiness assessment, from foundation in question to meaningful pieces in place, real numbers, real sequencing, real proof that this work compounds. So if I compress all 6 episodes into one sentence, it would be this: bigger work requires bigger infrastructure, not more hustle, but more readiness. So if you only walked away with a handful of takeaways from series 2, let these be them. First, when the system is a person, the system has a breaking point. Every founder who is the entire system eventually meets that ceiling. Systems don't slow you down. They let you sustain what you have built. The second takeaway is governance is proven in moments, not documents. A framework nobody uses is decoration. Governance earns its credibility the third time it kicks in, when it would have been easier just to push it through. The third takeaway: a pathway beats a to-do list. Seeing every gap at once is overwhelming. Choosing a primary lane for the next 90 days is clarity. You cannot build everything simultaneously, and you were never supposed to. The fourth takeaway: revenue is a lagging indicator. Readiness is a leading one. The numbers that predict whether you can hold what you're chasing are almost never the numbers on the P&L. The fifth takeaway is that your value as a founder is not your availability. It's what your business can produce because of what you've built. Delegation is not abandonment. It is architecture. And the sixth takeaway is this: readiness is practice, not achieved. There is no finish line where you become ready. There is a discipline of building, protecting, and refining, and that discipline is the work. Now, if those lessons landed, just share this series with someone who needs it. There's a founder in your network right now working 16-hour days or more because she is the system. You can be the person who hands her a different way of thinking. Now it's time to do a preview of what's to come, because I am so excited about what Series 3 is going to bring us. So let's talk about that next. Because if Series 1 gave you the diagnosis, Series 2 gave you the bill plan. Series 3 is where we finally talk about the money the right way. Series 3 is called Capital and Contract Ready. 6 episodes, and here's what's coming. In episode 13 is titled Stop Skipping to the Money. The truth might sting a little because most founders skip to the money too fast. Before we talk about winning contracts and raising capital, we're going to talk about why chasing money before you're structurally ready is one of the fastest ways to break a small business. In episode 14, Building a Pipeline That's Honest, Not Just Big, we're going to talk about the advice where we tell the most pipeline advice tells you to chase volume, because that's what most of them would tell you. That's the advice that you get on the streets. Hey, just chase the volume. I'm going to tell you the opposite. The best pipeline isn't the biggest, it's the most honest, sized to your capacity and aligned to your readiness and built to convert. Episode 15, talking to CEOs and funders like a partner. The biggest barrier I see for women and veteran founders isn't structural, it's relational. We're going to talk about how to show up in a conversation with contracting officers, program managers, prime BD leads, and funders as partners, not a petitioner. The language matters, the posture matters, and we're going to give you both. In episode 16, we will talk about capital readiness before you apply for that funding. Grants, loans, SBA products, investments, everyone tells you to apply. Almost nobody tells you what needs to be in place first, because capital you're not structured to manage responsibly is worse than no capital at all. So we'll build the infrastructure that makes your application credible and your use of the money sustainable. In episode 17, From First Contract to Sustainable Execution, the win is not the finish line. It's the starting gun. And we're going to talk about the transition from winning to executing, how to deliver on a first contract or a first major funding award without the win becoming the thing that breaks you. And then in episode 18, the readiness cycle: assess, build, pursue, protect, the finale. We'll bring all three series together into one continuous cycle, the operating rhythm of a sustainable federal practice, not one contract, not one win, a business that earns awards consistently, delivers excellently, and does it all without destroying the human being at the center. Now, if series 1 was the diagnosis and series 2 was the build plan, series 3 is where readiness meets the marketplace. So, how can you help this work grow? Before I close, I have 3 asks, same as last time. I'm asking on behalf of every founder who hasn't found this podcast yet, but desperately needs it. I want you to subscribe on YouTube. Search for GovCon Clarity with Dr. Lori Smith and hit subscribe. Series 3 will live live there in full video, and subscribe and make sure you don't miss episode 13 the moment it drops. I want you to share this series, both series. If series 2 shifted something for you, send it to the founder who is drowning in her own business. Send it to the veteran-owned firm that keeps winning work and burning out delivering it. Send it to the woman founder who is brilliant, capable, and doing the job of 6 people. And don't just send them one episode, send them the arc, because progression is the point, right? And then the third thing I want you to do is leave a review or a comment. Tell me what landed. Tell me what challenged you. Tell me which framework you finally implemented. I read everything, and your feedback shapes the shows. So that's where we are. 12 episodes done, 6 more on the way. A growing community of founders who are choosing to build for scrutiny, lead with structure, and grow without breaking. Now, you came to this podcast because something in you knew you were meant for bigger work. That instinct was right. But bigger work requires bigger infrastructure, not more hustle, more readiness. And readiness, practiced with discipline and protected with care, is what turns ambition into something the world can actually count on. Series 3, Capital and Contract Ready, drops soon. Subscribe on YouTube, share both series with someone who needs them, and meet me back here when episode 13 goes live. This is GovCon Clarity with Dr. Lori Smith. Readiness protects what ambition pursues. So build what holds the opportunity and what holds you. Goodbye. See you later.